Om Saira. It was 1980. You must have also heard as a devotee that Swami has his calling cards. Now, when that calling card comes to you, you come to him. It's not that we go to him, he calls us. And the reason might be anything good, bad, ugly, whichever we think could be that way. But for him to bring us to himself, to his presence, he has to have a reason to bring us there. So let me tell you, in 1980, Dr. Ramachandra Reddy, my husband, and me, we were in Saudi working there. And we came for a little holiday to Hyderabad, and he fell sick. He was treated in AIMS in Delhi, and of course in London, at one of the best hospitals, and also in Saudi Arabia's hospitals. And some doctors, our consultants, who were working along with us as our chiefs in the department. I'm a gynecologist, one MRCOG from London, and Dr. Reddy is an anesthetist, an FFARACS anesthetist, highly qualified. So we were both working in the same hospital, and our consultants used to tell us about Sathya Sai Baba, this holy man from India. This is why haven't you taken him and gone there? So we felt terrible, and we said in our country, they know more about him than we know. So that was the way that when he said he will get better, take him there. So that's how we decided to come back to India just to see Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. As we always been hearing about him being in Puttaparthi, and Dr. Reddy had a little problem where he needed his brother's help. So his brother, elder brother, and myself and Dr. Reddy, we three went to Puttaparthi. It was a summer months, and Puttaparthi was very, very deserted. There was hardly anybody there. We were surprised. So, well, it took us about 2-3 hours for us to come from there to Whitefield. We found out about it and came there. And the next morning when we went for darshan, as we were told, I had no idea that men sit separately, women sit separately. So this, my dear friends and devotees, this is our calling card. So Dr. Reddy was made to stand where the gents stand, and I was taken to the women's side. So how would I know what he said there or what and who I am? Swami went directly to Dr. Reddy and his brother and touched the part which had become weak and told him, Adhairya padaku bagaipotao. Don't lose hope, you will become all right, is what he said to him in Telugu. And after that was done, he came directly to the woman's side. And he came directly to me. And he said, I've seen your husband, don't worry, he'll be all right. He just said that, don't worry, he'll be all right. He'll be all right. So I was surprised, because we were virtually new to our own country, because we had been away for 14 years till then, living in Australia, England, then finally working in Saudi Arabia for 2 years. So how would you know who's the wife of somebody or who's the husband of this lady? But he came and told me directly what he wanted to say about Dr. Reddy, saying, do not worry. So that was really working on my mind. I was awestruck, actually, to tell you. And after that, he was going away towards the door to go out. And I said to myself internally, my mind was saying that they say that he does give some vibhuti to people who go to him, especially with an illness. So he hasn't given me anything. And surprisingly, there was a window. He went to the windowsill, and on the windowsill was a basket full of vibhuti packets. He picked up a lot of packets, but I didn't think they were for me. I thought he'll take them and go out with them. But no, he turned around, came directly only to me, and he said, this way. And so I put my hands out, and my hands were full of all those vibhuti packets that he had brought for me. And again, looking at me, he said, Saripoinda, which meant, enough? Is it enough for you? I was really so taken up that I couldn't even say a word. But in that face and that expression that I had, there was so much kindness, so much compassion that really clutches at your heart. so touching were his expressions that it's difficult to forget. Then he met us and he said, no, go back to Saudi Arabia, go and work there. So this was 1980. 1980, and then we went back and slowly Ram began recovering. And now if you see him, he's just a very fine gentleman as anybody would be of his age, because he got through that problem very well. I even thank my consultants for having given us that advice that particular day in Saudi Arabia once, and of course also in England, because he was treated in England, London proper as well. So this was our calling card, and we went there. Once we got back to Saudi again, we still had work to do, complete our deal with them was there, so we had to complete that time. So we worked till we had to, and came back to India around end of 82 or 83, early 83s, something like that. And after this, we became very, very busy setting up our own hospitals. I had a wonderful mother. She was a politician also. And she wanted us to come back and work for the public, for the society, and not for the government. So she said, I don't want you to come and join a government job. I will build a hospital as much as I can afford, and you come and work here for yourself and the people. So we had to complete that desire of hers. After this went on, I was pushed into politics. And it was actually, I should use the word, not pushed, but encouraged to join and contest the election by Sri late Rajiv Gandhi, because he was very keen on women's empowerment. We had met him in Saudi Arabia on an official visit, and he and his mother, Indira Gandhi, both had said that they would like educated women to come into politics. I think I fit the bill for them. So I not only was encouraged, I was also given a seat. I also won that election. And this is how I moved from total, completely devoted practice to a early politician, a beginning of a political life. This was my election in 89. Mind you, we didn't get back to Parthi or to Whitefield. Maybe that's his wish, that we should get a firmament and get our practice going well and become strong there, and then make a name for ourselves. And of course, after that, he would meet us. We didn't go, but we were so fortunate that God came himself to Hyderabad. And having been in late Sri Geeta Reddy's cabinet when he was our chief minister, I had an opportunity to go to his residence to await Swami's coming to their house that morning, as I had been told. So that morning or that night, I was so excited I was going to see Sathya Sai Baba the next day that I don't know when I went to sleep. And suddenly I had this vision. A vision, a dream, I cannot explain. But this has really, really given me such an impression about who he is. I saw in this dream, I'm not to be seen, but my voice is heard, which says, I'm asking Bhagawan Baba, they say you are God. Are you God? And that's where just that little asking of mine stops. And instantly I see a very, very blue and totally clear sky. Sky has no limit. And the whole sky was lit up with this wonderful spangled star. It was a golden star, but it was totally covering the whole sky, and it was spangled. That's what I saw. And the next thing after this is a wonderful big Om. The Om is right in the sky, totally occupying the sky again, a shining Om in golden color. I just kept wondering. And the third scene was really something that it is really startling for all of us to what I saw. It was our Swami's face in blue and with a pincham, peacock's feather in his hair, and smiling away. So there he was. I just thought of it, and I used to narrate it just like as it is now. But there's a deeper meaning to it. When I had discussed this with some people, some scientific-minded people also, and some researchers as well, their discussion about it was that the spangled star is nothing but the Big Bang, beginning of the universe. The Omkar, he is an Omkara Purusha. That's what we call him, Omkara Purusha. The Om is also a takeoff from the Big Bang. And there, God. And God is Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. He came to me in that rupa because I could understand him, that this is my Lord here. So there you are. So there is a very scientific explanation to that kind of a vision that I got. And this was, I looked into the Google much later, only about last week or so. And the Big Bang happened somewhere 13 to 14 million years ago. So we look at the Purana Purusha, Adi Purusha. So he's there smiling away at us. I never had another dream of Bhagawan at all. He's never ever come into my dreams again. Having met Baba, Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba, in 1980, which is before my joining politics, actually my first elections, that is, he did make a big difference in me because his teachings are so simple. And he's so loving, so kind, so compassionate. I do remember that when I went into Channa Reddy's house to say that I have to see him, I'm telling you the first part of the Channa Reddy house experience before, this was 92 when I said I had this dream. This dream was before going to Channa Reddy's house. And what I saw was when I opened my eyes after this dream or vision finished, it was 4 a.m. in the morning. So it was as early as that. Then I got ready as fast as I can and I went there. And Baba had just come after a few minutes after I landed there into their house. So the family got together, they had their own time with Bhagawan, they had a meal with him, etc. All that went on. And most of the devotees who had come to see Bhagawan have his darshan were brought into a hall where they had a simhasan kind of sofa ready for Bhagawan. All the others were seated there. All my leaders, my colleagues who were the senior ministers along with me with Channa Reddy regime earlier, they were all seated in the front row and I didn't know where to sit. And nobody was really bothered about me because they were all keen on only looking at Swami. When he's there, your eyes cannot go off elsewhere. Totally, they were all engrossed and focused on him. So I thought best is I stand near the door at the back. So I stood near the door, just standing there at the back of the whole hall. Swami looked up and saw me. He saw me and said, "Ikkadra." Then I knew he wanted. And I was so fortunate he made me sit right near his feet, his lotus feet. There I was wondering, I am such a distance, but I'll be happy only to see him. That's about all. I'm having his darshan. That's fine for me. And there you are. He asked me to come and sit near him. Back of this is a sad event in my life that just few months before his arrival to Hyderabad, I had lost my mother. I was an only child. I'm an only child of my mother, and she was very attached to me, so was I. So my missing her was too much. There was an emptiness in my heart. And there you are. I was going to discover something wonderful. I'll just tell you that now. As I sat there, he put his hand on my head and he said, I was sobbing like a child. Amma poinar Swami, Amma vellipoinar Swami, mother's gone Swami. Sobbing exactly like a child. There was a grown-up minister, but I was sobbing. He put his hand on my head and he said, Andaru povalsinde kada, which means everyone who comes has to go. So yes, but then my sadness was my sadness. I'm just an ordinary human. So then he created Vibhuti for me. And that for that Vibhuti, one of the home one of the relatives put out a paper. I think he is the son of Channa Reddy Garu. He put out a white paper into which this vibhuti was taken. And he just put a little into my mouth and he said, keep it. So I kept it. And then he said to me, Nenu unnan kada, ni Sai Matanu. I still was tearing away, crying. So looking at this love that I got from him, that vibhuti to cool me down, calm me down, that compassion, only a mother can do that. A sobbing child and a mother, a caring mother. So he put his hand on his heart. He said, I am here, your Sai Mata. Nenu unnan kada ni Sai Matanu. And I tell you, friends, dear devotees, that did something to me. That really filled up that void I had in my heart. I missed her, but I was not like a sobbing, broody, what shall I say? I was also going into a little kind of depression. No. There was my mother. There was Sai Mata for me. That confidence that he's there. And that made me a much, much bolder personality from then on. A person who could take problems and in her stride. Politics is not that easy. I took my problems and my challenges, I think because my Sai Mata was with me. In 92, as a minister, I had an official duty to go to Anantapur, to Madakasira. And I was told we are not that far away from Puttaparthi. So I jumped. I said, we must spend the night in Puttaparthi, see Swami in the morning, have his darshan and go. So that was the plan. And we were well taken care of at the ashram, I must say. And next morning, I went in, and as per the guidance of the people there, I was waiting for Swami's darshan. Swami's darshan happened at the right time. I think it was about 8 o'clock. And then when he came to me, he looked at me and said, Eppudu vachavu? I said, Swami, I came last night. Then he said to me, go to Colonel Jogarao and tell him to take you to the hospital, to the new hospital. I said, thank you so much. I would love to see that. Chala santosham, Swami. So I also, after the darshan was over, was very happy that I was going to see the whole hospital, about which I really heard so much. And then I went to Colonel Jogarao's apartment. He was there. When we decided such and certain time that we will go to the hospital. Here I must tell you a little background about my health. I've been a very bad asthmatic for many, many years. And whatever happened there the previous night, or when I was traveling in Madakasira and the other parts of Anantapur, I had developed a very bad asthma attack through the night. So because of this, my walking became a little troublesome for me because I was breathless. I did take my treatment, which I carry, my puffs and all that, but I still wasn't feeling that I could make it to this large hospital and walk around it. Please listen to me here, dear devotees. I'm going to talk about the omniscience of the Lord. So I thought to myself, I didn't even tell the person who was taking care of us from the ashram side that I have this problem. I said, the Lord said, I must go, I must go. So I said, I don't know how I'm going to walk all this place. So we went along together to the hospital. Mr. Colonel Jogarao and myself went to the hospital after the darshan when the morning was over. And lo and behold, Swami's red car is already there in front of the hospital. He didn't say he's coming. He said, you go to Colonel Jogarao and he will take you to the hospital. But he was there. And when I went in along with the colonel, he was talking to another gentleman. I think this was Mr. Paramahamsa, who was also in the hospital looking after it. And then Swami directed us to sit in the buggy or a golf cart, whichever you call it, because he had got it ready. I was amazed, because why will a golf cart be, right there in front? Not front of the hospital, but inside, and the dome as we passed the dome. So he said, you sit at the back with Paramahamsa, and he and Colonel Jogarao sat in the front. And mind you, viewers, devotees, I'm ever so grateful to the Lord. He knew my problem. He knew that because of my asthma, I wouldn't be able to walk through the whole hospital. I did not have to get down anywhere. He took me to every department. And that was something I cannot forget, because he was touching every patient, blessing so many people, talking to so many who were waiting there just for a darshan. At one stage, we went to the theater site, and a mother standing by her son, a little son who was barely 6 or 7, who was going to get operated soon. And all she was doing, closing her eyes, shutting her eyes totally, folding her hands and looking at nothing, closed, total eyes. And then she was saying, Sai Ram, Sai Ram, Sai Ram, Sai Ram, and tears flowing through her eyes. And there was Sai Ram, just put his hand on her shoulder, and then she didn't know who it was. The moment she turned around, she fell at his feet. And there the Lord was so kind, so loving, like a mother of like 1,000 mothers' love he showed to that lady. He said, don't worry, in Telugu, Emi yochana cheyaku, bagayipotadu, in a very sweet way. And that gave her a little strength. I think her whole countenance changed. And I was watching all this. I don't know what was happening to me. These were experiences I never had. Only the Bhagawan, only an avatara, only God can have these help ever, hurt never, love all, serve all. These were the kind of things he taught. And he doesn't just teach, he lives. He's not just teaching us, he's living his life. My life is my message, is what he says. And it's so correct, because that's what he was doing to that young lady who had a small, younger child. So we were passing by, there were doctors who were coming out, and he was tapping them on their shoulder, asking them problems. And this way, everywhere I went around without having to walk at all. So my feelings, my fear were known to the Lord. My health condition was known to the Lord. I didn't tell him anything. I didn't even tell Jogarao Garu, but he was there. And as we were coming out, when it was all over, he said, interview istan ra. Then he must have thought, no, why take her all the way to the hospital and there make her walk, etc. So he took me to a consulting room. The divine doctor, he was sitting on the consultant's chair, and a patient was seated right opposite him. I cannot forget that. And he laughed at me, saying that because he materialized a huge diamond ring, which was, I thought that looked a little bigger for me. And having these slim fingers, he asked me to put them on, having a little giggle, laughing and saying, pettichude, and everything, that ring was dropping off from all my fingers. So then I started also to have a little good laugh. And it looked funny. But then he took it away from me and blew on it 3 times. 3 times. And then what happens? It comes exactly to my ring finger. The index finger. Exactly on my index finger was that ring made of. How? That was such a big ring. And just by blowing the air from the Lord's mouth, there you are. It's come up to become my size. And it lasted with me for many, many years. But once out of the way, out of the blue, I lost it in the Delhi airport. We got it searched by the Indigo, anywhere, everywhere, but nobody could find it. And I was very heartbroken. So when we went for an interview later, I was almost in kind of a sorrow. I said, Swami, I lost it. He was teasing me and saying, Alaksham chesao, means you were not careful with it. So I said I was really guarding, like this ring also. I keep touching it every time, so I know it is there. But much, much later, when he was giving the green rings, I also got one green ring from him, which I keep feeling constantly so that I don't lose it at all. But he does say that it's a diamond. The diamond is a diamond. So when the mind dies or something to that extent, the ring, they go back to him. Whatever he gives, when they have done their job, that particular materialization, that object, it goes back to him, is what I used to hear in Puttaparthi. So maybe it went back to the Lord to whom it belongs. So this is what happened there. And just a few days before, I'll take you from Swami's hospital I will take you to Shirdi. Devotees. In Shirdi, we had gone there to see Shirdi Baba have a darshan. And Dr. Reddy, myself, and my young 8-year-old daughter were with us. And as we were going on to Shirdi from Bombay, my daughter developed a very, very high fever. We virtually had to take turns laying her on our laps and giving cold compresses. But I was so concerned. I said, no, we must take her there. We must go and have his darshan. We were, right from my mother's time, we were Shirdi. So it is, our journey also has been from Shirdi to Parthi. So there you are. This is the Shirdi Parthi change that was taking place, that had taken place. So we went to Parthi, to Shirdi with her lying on our lap. And those days, when she's 40 plus now, so you can imagine she was only 8 years those days. We could put her at Baba's feet, at Shirdi Baba's feet. And I was again like a mother, touched and crying and telling Baba, please take care of her. That's an only child we have. So please take care of her, please take care of her. And then the priest there blessed her. And then we came to the hotel and again moved back. And a week later, I happened to be in Anantapur, then of course in Puttaparthi and in the Lord's presence. So I hadn't told him about my daughter being sick a week ago. Here is what we have to believe. He said, you're so worried about your daughter. Ammayi gurinchi anta baadhapadtavenduku baagaipotundi. So he said, you're so worried about your daughter. She will be all right. She will become all right. So this is the connection between the Shirdi Sai, Sathya Sai are one. This is what I understood out of this particular experience of mine. He's there and he's here. That avatar and this avatar, the omniscience, the omnipresence, the omnipotent, he is all. And he is Inta, Venta, Janta, Kanta. I'm with you, around you, above you, below you. You have to believe this. I didn't think of him at all in Shirdi. And there he is talking about me taking my daughter and putting at his feet in Shirdi and that she will be all right. Don't be so upset. That day was a Thursday. So the padukas were taken in a pallaki and we were doing a pradakshina. That's a routine over there. And I was a fortunate one who was allowed to go right behind the padukas. There were some film people also. They were children of some film stars. So they were around me and then I was one of them. I was going with them. And because one of the early persons, relative who was there, let me be there. I didn't ask for it. But I was there in the front row. As we finished, or before finishing rather, this person took out his padukas, Shirdi Baba's big padukas, and he handed over to me to carry them for the rest of the pradakshina. Unbelievable. I didn't even think ever that I could be so fortunate that I could be there on a Thursday and be able to take the padukas in my hands, Shirdi Baba's padukas, and walk around and do the pradakshina that day. Very fortunate for me. And after that, a week later, I'm here with his next avatar, the Shirdi Sathya Sai, Shirdi Baba to Sathya Sai Baba and Sathya Sai avatar. That day, it ended because after he got into the car, his red car, he said, Vijayavantanga Ra, and he blessed me, and he allowed me to take Pada Namaskar there itself, because he knew that we were going away that evening, I suppose, if I can remember. So that ended my first trip to Puttaparthi. So I really did Shirdi to Parthi. 1 week I'm in Shirdi, the next week I'm in Puttaparthi. It's just in the silence of your heart, you can hear him if you want to. So the omniscient Lord, just because his physical presence is not there, we should not think, oh, we can do anything and get away with it. Now, one little experience I had. Once when we had got to Kodaikanal and we came back after that experience, we were non-vegetarians and always used to say, it'll be a next life when I become a vegetarian. This is a kind of sarcastic comments I used to make. And eventually what happened when we came back from Kodaikanal this particular year, I just didn't want to eat anything other than vegetarian. So up to date, till today, till the second, from that time onwards, from 97 onwards, I'm a vegetarian. And I will also die as a vegetarian because Swami has brought me to that path. And I am as healthy as I am. And I have problems, but I overcome them. Health problems, I overcome them how? Because he is there. So we went to meet him. And when I had become vegetarian, I was so proud that a person who's talked like that about vegetarianism, he's here, solid vegetarian. So I told Swami that, Swami, very much like a child, I have become vegetarian, we have become vegetarians. So he wasn't very happy. He said, after a little while, he said, Ledu, no. I said, yes, Swami, we've become vegetarian. So he says, Adugu, Reddy Nadugu. He said, he pointed at Reddy and said, Reddy Nadugu. So ask Reddy, he said. So Reddy had his head down and he said, yes, Swami, I went to a staff nurse's wedding and they are purely non-vegetarian. So they all cooked this and they forced me to eat, so I had to eat. I didn't know that. What I don't know, also, what you talk in the house, you don't know yourself, but he knows. He knows so much. So then he also had a laugh. There was a lightness in the whole atmosphere because Swami is like a mother, a little admonishing, and then he's so loving. So that's what I kept feeling about him most of the time. So this is a small experience, but just goes to show somewhere in Telangana, somewhere in some village, some staff nurse's wedding, who did what is what he knew. Isn't it? So that is Swami. Most of us have had doubts whether Swami is Shirdi Sai and Shirdi Sai and Sathya Sai are the same. A lot of people had the doubts, do have the doubts. But I must tell you, once we were the fortunate ones who were given an opportunity to come with the Lord to Kodaikanal. I think this was the year 1996 or 97 perhaps. Yes, 97. So we were there with him and one day he was talking to us. It was lovely. There were a lot of women and a lot of students who had done well. They would be brought in. And then there were a lot of men who were close to him also. So we all used to be seated in such a way in Kodaikanal that he'd talk about lots of things and lots of leelas of his we used to see. It was most enjoyable for us. And once he was just talking to us just after lunch, we were all coming back to the main hall in his residence over there, Sai Shruti. And he said, అప్పుడు నాతో ఉన్న వాళ్ళందరూ షిర్దీగా ఉన్న వాళ్ళందరూ వచ్చారు నాతోనే లక్ష్మీబాయి కూడా వచ్చింది. So I think you understand the Telugu once understood that. He said, all the ones who are with me in Shirdi avatar also are here. And even Lakshmi Bai is here. So you should see all the women saying, who's Lakshmi Bai? Who's Lakshmi Bai? You know, as typical woman we are. We were about 30 women already there. And this is what I do remember how it went. Now, coming to my life and my house. It was a Thursday morning. I'd had my bath, washed my hair, and I was going to my puja room. I have a small mandir where Shirdi Sai, Sathya Sai both are there. So I was very keen on my Thursday pujas and I was just going. I came out of my room. My maid came to me and said, there is some gentleman there, old looking gentleman. He says, Geeta Reddy unda, this is where he's asking. So he wants to see you. So I said, somebody addressing me just like Geeta Reddy. So I said, I don't know. And Ram was just across there in the dining hall. I said, please go and just see him. I'll come back. I'll do my puja quickly and come back. And I also not dried my hair. My hair is so wet. He said, in politics, all kinds of people come to see you. You go and see him. And he refused to go. So I said, okay. So I went as I was. And there was this gentleman. He was fully white, in a white outfit, long kurta, tall man, and a pajama that was not a little above his ankles. Maybe that was the style. And he had this whitish beard. And I have a smaller drawing room where the step from the ground to the sofa sets is there's a little height. So my mate said he couldn't even walk, Amma. I had to catch his hand and put him on the so near to the sofa to sit down. So he was seated by the time I went. So I sat there. Em Geeta Reddy, Bagunava. Oh, Geeta Reddy, are you all right? So I said, all right. I don't know who I'm talking to. My mother was a very big politician. I thought maybe someone who knew her in my childhood would have come. And if I talked to him a little not so nicely, he might feel less upset. So I was being very nice and saying, um, I don't know what to say to him. Endukocharu, I can't ask. Why have you come? I can't say. What do you want? I can't say. He's such a elderly gentleman and so dignified looking. I didn't think I never even thought that I was in the presence of somebody, I'll tell you. So he said, there is a photograph of myself, Swami in the middle, and Dr. Reddy. I had put it up there in that drawing room. It suited. Idi ikkada pettukunnava, he said. You put this photo here. So I said, yes. I was really tongue-tied. I don't know who I'm talking to in the first place. So then I went on. He said, I told them Geeta Reddy chestundi. Geeta Reddy chestundi. I said, who did he tell? What did he tell? It's not being clear to me. So then Pujak Povala. This is all going on in my mind. I was got to go and do my puja. So that's how human beings are, how hardly we know ourselves and hardly we don't know divinity at all. Then he said, he knew must be that I'm getting a little disturbed or whatever, uncomfortable. He said, na age cheppu entundo? Na vayas cheppu? So just before that evening, we had gone to see our ex-chief minister with whom I worked also. So we always used to go and meet him on and off. So that evening we had been there and he's turned 82. This was Mr. Vijay Reddy. So Adi, I remember that only. And I told this older gentleman, you must be 82. Nik telida, nak 72. And he said, he got a little surprised that I said he was 82. And he said 72. So I said, sorry, I just put my hands together. Then he said, looks like this conversation is not going forward. So he said, na koraku governoru wait chestunnadu, Srinivas wait chestunnadu, nenu vellala valla koraku. So I thought, namaskaram sir, I said, namaskaram. So he got up. He didn't get up till then. I said, okay, namaskaram, and I walked out, came and sat in my puja room, ran to my puja room. As though God was getting upset if I'm not there on time. So I sat there, then the penny dropped. This was Shirdi Sai Baba. Our Swami had come as Shirdi Sai Baba. He was giving me hints about his age, about the people who visited, about Srinivas, about governors. But I didn't know. So I came running out of my puja room and I told the maid, just let's climb the terrace and see where he is gone. It was hardly a couple of minutes. We ran up to the terrace, looked at the 3 roads that go across us. Nowhere could this person could be seen. Nowhere. Then I told her, how did you see him go? She said, I didn't see him go. I only put him into the sofa set. And he sat down in the sofa, but he was not even able to get up. Amma, how did he get down and go away? So we searched all the 3 roads. We could not find him anywhere. And the best part is, this was in my mind very strongly. So when I got the next interview with Bhagawan in Puttaparthi, I said, this happened to me, Swami, this happened to me. He said, it was me. I will give you many more experiences of my form. I will come in different forms. I may come in different forms. So he does. So friends and devotees, just remember, in the Sai Satcharita, it is there that one day he promises a lady devotee, he'll go and have a meal at her house. He doesn't turn up, but a black dog comes and eats away all the food. And so she beats it badly and drives it away. So when she goes and tells Baba in the mandir next day and says, you didn't come. He said, I came, but you beat me and drove me away. Then she realizes it was the dog that came. So he can come in any forms, any form. So this is what we have to learn from him, just to test us, what we are. Are we good? Are we kind? Are we helpful to people? So I was tongue-tied because that being a Thursday. But again, when I realized by Swami himself that it was him, he came to clear my doubt that Shirdi Sai, Satya Sai are the same. It was Shirdi Sai then, it is Satya Sai now. And then he's told us he's got 3 avatars. So the next one is Prema Sai. But we only know the current one, that is Satya Sai, Shirdi Sai Baba ke baad mein, after Shirdi Sai came Shri Satya Sai Baba of Puttaparthi. So that is how this experience of mine, and he mentioned it. He mentioned it just before, maybe a couple of weeks or so, when we came back from Kodaikanal, that all these people from who were with me in Shirdi are here today, right, in Kodaikanal, including Lakshmi Bai. So he had given a hint to me and he had come here. Had he put a safa, as they say, that white cloth, head cloth or headgear, it would have been nothing but Shirdi Baba sitting there and talking in Telugu to me like Satya Sai Baba. So this is an experience I wanted to share with you. And I can never forget this till my last breath. Now I'm taking you to an incident that happened in Whitefield, Bangalore. One evening, well, Swami was there naturally. One evening there was a musical concert by Srimati Parveen Sultana, Begum Parveen Sultana, in fact. She was a well-known singer and so was her husband. And she was performing for Swami especially that evening. So the stage was given up for her and Swami came and sat along with the devotees, with the boys on the right side, as usual, the ladies on the left side. So he was on the right side and the boys were like gone crazy. They were holding his hands, they were holding his feet, and they were pressing his feet. They wouldn't leave him. So I think Swami just wanted a change. So he looked around and I was right on this side. On the left, I was on the left side, woman's side, of course. She started her song and then Swami tells me, Oka Pata Padu in Telugu. I said, Sai Ram Swami, Oka Pata Padu. I said, nothing. I just shook my head and I looked away. So I said, he's asking me to sing a song. This event, I must tell you, after this, she sang, the musical program was over. And the boys really enjoyed Swami's being seated with them. And then I got this singing part when I can't sing. I said, my God, he really wants me to sing. I'm a flop. But anyway, that didn't happen. Then next couple of days later, or just about a day later, I had to go to this was Whitefield. We were leaving that evening. And then I had to go to our district, an area where there was a by-election going on. And this was Siddipet. This place was known as Siddipet. So quite a lot of us leaders had gone there to have this campaign. A lot of speakers will be there. We're all speaking. So once I'm glad I got there and I did my job because I belong to Medak district politically. And this was happening in Medak district, but in Siddipet, which was one of the districts, one of the constituencies rather. So once the meeting was over, somebody started saying, Oka Pata Padu, Oka Pata Padu. I said, who's this Oka Pata Padu? Then as I got into my car, all the leaders were getting into their car to move on. As I got into my car and shut the door, and my window is open because we leaders don't put on our window screens immediately because people will always like to talk to us, hold our hands, take pictures, etc. So this man was a short little man and he was wearing that typical rural dhoti, not a short dhoti they wear, rural, when they work in the farms and on their, this kind of a rural setup it was totally. It was a rural area. So he came right to my car window, put his hand on the window and he said, Oka Pata Padu. I didn't know what to do. I just looked at him And he was a typical farmer-looking personality, shorter though. Then in the meantime, the cars moved away. Kapata Padu, he said again and went on about this Pata Padu. So I thought to myself, Swami said he'll come in any form to me. Could it have been Swami? But he doesn't look anywhere like Swami. And Pata Padu is what Swami said to me only a day ago. And this man is using the same words again. I mean, will leaders go and campaign and sing songs, or they will give speeches? So I just laughed to myself, yes, Swami, you do come in many forms, and I just came away. So this was something which happened there in Whitefield, and it was repeated in a far off district, rural area. The next day, the same wording that he used. And he didn't look anyway like Swami, excepting that he looked like a little shorter version of a rural farmer. So this is an experience I wanted to also share with you. All these make you believe he is with you all the time. Whichever form he comes, he is there. I mean, it's not that he goes away. And I used to be with Swami mostly birthday times. So this was, one morning was early morning, we got a call from Mrs. Ratanlal. She said, this was 6 o'clock in the morning. He said, come, Swami wants you all. So we got quickly ready, and then from our whatever accommodation we were staying, we went to the Sai Shruti, the back area. The Sai Shruti, he was in another room and the door was shut. That was the seating area actually. So the door was shut. So as the door was shut, Mrs. Ratanlal said, just wait, both of you. So we were waiting. And suddenly we could hear the door open, and it was Swami's bag we could see. He was very busy trying to select a sari, looking at different saris. And standing as he was, with his back to us, he said, Yen Geetama, no green vesko kada. Nobody knows I don't wear green. Nobody knows. I'm sure even Ram Reddy wouldn't know that I don't wear green. And he said, no green vesko kada. Yen color ival niku, dra. And then I went up and he said, come, you don't wear green. So you come up and see, you choose what you want. I said, no, Swami, I didn't wear green till now, but I will wear now. When you give it to me, I will start wearing green. So he was happy. And already he had a beautiful green Banaras sari in his hands. So that was my gift for my birthday that day that he had chosen. Look at him like a mother, no? Ditto. A mother wants to give the best to the daughter, to the child. So he's searching for a good one to give me. And he knows that I don't wear green, which nobody also knew, even the house. So this is the all-knowing, omniscient Lord. Even in small little things like a sari on a birthday, it was a birthday, so he had to give me something that I liked. But he said, you don't like green. I won't give you green. I said, no, please give me green. And from then on, I do wear green, just like the same shade that he gave me. So as I was coming a lot to Puttaparthi, whenever I could, my leaders in the constituency and a lot of voters also used to keep saying that మీరు చాలా పోతారు పుట్టపర్తికి చాలా పోతారు మమ్మల్ని కూడా తీసుకెళ్ళండి అని చెప్పి. So I said, okay, how many want to come? So we all got a bus for them. So about 75 to 100 somehow got into that bus, and they all came to Puttaparthi. And I didn't even tell Swami that so many are coming. But the next morning, at the darshan time, I was seated in my place, and then as Swami came, he went past me totally and went towards the bench side where all these guys were sitting in one block. And he started talking to them, saying, Miranta, Geeta Reddy Taluka nunchi vachinar kada. All of you have come from Geeta Reddy's area, haven't you? When who told him? But he just went to them and he materialized Vibhuti for sound. Then he talked to a few of them. And then he again asked them to come into the interview room to give them all an interview. So when he called them all for an interview, then when he signaled for me to come along. So I did go, and it was, anybody who's been in Swami's interview room knows that it's not such a big hall. It's a smallish room. And so many of us fit into it. How, I don't know. But we all did fit into it. And then when we all sat, he said, Chappandi. So everyone started asking something for themselves. Health, child, marriage for their children, job for their... He said, no, no, no. All of you get together and ask for one. So then I said, no, I can't leave it to these guys. I know they'll carry on like this. I said, Swami, we have drinking water problem, severe drinking water problem. We have, our area has been declared a dry area. So we have to dig nearly 600 meters down to get some water. Even then we don't. Our women are walking kilometers far to get some water to drink. So it is what we need. And everyone joined the chorus, on Swami, Maku, Tagunil Kavala, Tagunil Kavala. So he was very touched, but that this was some important need of that area. And we were in a rural area totally. It's a rural area. Now there is a municipality, but then there was no municipality. It was just a rural area. So Swami said to me, Gitama, now come on, enta avutundi, anni nu papers anta set chesesai, anni you do everything quickly. I said, Swami, earlier the budget was thought of as 30 crores. Now it may have gone up. Emaina kani, I will give it to you. Can you believe it? Government won't do that so quickly. Instantly he said yes. Then of course he involved Mr. Kondal Rao in it because he was the engineer concerned. So he can get all the details. And while this was over, he promised, and this event was over here in Puttaparthi. Again, the summertime when we were all in Whitefield, he called me and said, tomorrow the inauguration is taking place. You go. You go to your constituency and be there. So I mean in one day, so since Kondal Raoji was organizing everything, I think it was all going very fast. And I was happily being here with Swami. So there, he said, you go. I had to call up my guys, the brighter guys, and tell them, get shamiyanas, get this, get that, get everything ready. But the function on the manaki is, Swami manaku neellistunar. That part. This water was coming all the way from Manjira. Manjira comes from Karnataka, and from Manjira to Zahirabad, it goes through and then comes to our Gajwel area also. So they were getting from that side 60 kilometers. So it was something very important for all the people over there also. The town itself lacked a lot of drinking water. So we got it all planned. By the time I came home and went to Tupran, so I just checked everything and sat there. Then what does he do? He brings, he sends, unknown to us, Mr. Chakravarti. And Mr. Chakravarti comes with 5,000 laddus for the people over there. I didn't think of that. None of us thought of that. You know, and even the government didn't think of anything. So, laddus of 5,000 poor man, he carried by train, he came by train, and it is an hour and a half from the station to Tupran. So this was Swami. He's celebrating it as he's giving the money and he's celebrating it for us, whereas we have to do all this for us, mental humans, ignorant people like us. He did a great job, and it was a great function again that he has given us this water. By this time, Mr. Chandrababu also came to know. So he went to Swami and begged of him, requested him, just giving it to one area of Geeta Reddy is not right, Swami. The whole area is suffering with water problems, etc. So eventually, Swami gave water for 200 villages in Medak district. 200 villages. So that's his heart, the large-heartedness. He could tell Chandrababu Naidu, you give the water. No. He has taken up the responsibility. Swami had taken up the responsibility. So he didn't tell Chandrababu anything. He said, okay, I'll give it. And he gave it. So that is our Swami. That is what we have to learn from him. That when people ask and we are in a position to do something, we have to do it for them. So that is where it is a nice experience for me also to learn this from him, that what you can do, you do yourself. You don't need to ask somebody. About Kodaikanal, I just like to add a couple of lines. He used to bring a lot of boys, about 70 of them, a bus full of them mostly. And these guys were performing well, so he used to treat them to a trip to Kodaikanal. That's how I understood it. And we were also there, quite a lot of his women devotees and male devotees. We used to, in Swami's presence, used to celebrate a lot of festivals over there also. And the way he used to take care of these boys is something the mothers have to learn. He was always worried of them. And like a father, sometimes he used to go out in the car. We wouldn't know why he's gone. Suddenly he's gone. And sometimes it is little colder days. He used to pack his car at the dicky with a lot of blankets, and then he'll take a full round of Kodaikanal, and wherever people were sleeping, maybe they were poor people or they were, beggars, I won't know. He used to put one each on them, cover them, and come back home, come back to Sai Shruti also. So these boys, like a father, praising the boys who have done well in their classes, giving them a treat, taking them out and giving them this candy, fluff or whatever you call it, sugar candy, and taking care of the poor over there. The food used to be made in such quantities that it was given out to all the poorer people outside Sai Shruti, all over Kodaikanal. They used to search and see where there are people who haven't had a meal, and they used to be given, all of them used to be given food. So this is how Swami, even on a holiday trip, it was all nothing but service. What is he doing by this? He is teaching the boys that service is important. All the Upanishads, everything brought together for him is in 4 lines. Help ever, hurt never. Love all, serve all. In this, he teaches a lot to the boys and to the rest of us also. And our lives have virtually changed a lot. There's been an inner transformation thanks to the proximity of Baba, that he has changed not only the students, but all of us also, devotees who are with him and who believe in him, who have faith in him, who are committed to him. Yes, we have to follow his path, is what we also keep thinking in our life. Every time I was speaking somewhere, Swami, always the people who invited me say, there's a flower which fell. So that was becoming like a continuity for me. Then once I was in Siddipet, having fought an election, my counting was going on that day. This is interesting. How I took the final outcome of my election is because of him. So Siddipet, there was a counting. It was a very tough election between the Telugu Desam candidate and myself from the Congress. And it was almost going like a Sarpanch election. 5 votes there, 10 votes to me, 10 votes to them, 5 votes to me. That was so close. So there was a very, very devoted person who was a staunch devotee of Bhagawan Baba, a very well-known advocate of Siddipet called Venkatrao Garu, very old person. And he knew me very well because he used to see me a lot, because again, Siddipet, as I earlier said, comes into Medak district. So he said, while you're waiting for the result, there's a very nice Sai Baba temple, Sat Sai Baba temple, you come. So there's a nice Sat Sai Baba Samiti also over there. So as I walked into walked up the steps and went into the mandir along with Mr. Venkatrao Garu, a yellow flower, a big yellow flower fell with a thump down onto the ground. Can you believe? I said, yellow flower, Swami. What are you trying to hint at me, Swami? Yellow is not my color. Yellow is Telugu Desam color. This is what came into my mind. And the others were red. So after that, 1 minute after the other, 9 flowers he dropped. He went on dropping one after the other, one after the other. After we sat and the bhajans were, the flowers were coming. And when we fully counted, apart from that yellow, there were 9 roses, 9 beautiful roses. So Mr. Venkatrao was so emotional, so overtaken by emotion. He said, all my years as a devotee of Baba, I have never had this experience. Thank you. Mir Rachanantaku, Swami has shown his presence here so much. I said, I know, and he's trying to console me. Ani cheppanen. Means I said he's only trying to console me. Because I started feeling what the outcome would be. And eventually it was the same. The TDP candidate won very narrowly. And can you believe, I was so sure I'm winning that we had booked our train, and I had also ordered for lots of laddus in Puttaparthi, in Sai Kulwantwal, that you're going to distribute the laddus. So we caught the train, lost or win, it's nothing to do with Baba. I'm going. So we came. He said to me, "No, okka ఊరికి ఎందుకు పోలేదు బంగారు?" You didn't go to one village. I was very, very tired that day. We are roaming in one mandal called Jagdevpur Mandalam. This was the last village, and I just I didn't have the energy at all to walk or to speak or do anything. So I said, I'll see them next day or something like that. And so, we have a prepared strategy. We have to go to this village, we have to go to that village. So I missed it that day. And can you believe who asked me that question? It was Swami in Puttaparthi. He said, Yenduku akadiki poledu? Why didn't you go to that village? What does it mean? I was the cause of my own election loss just because of my tiredness. Maybe I should have taken an option, sat down, had something to eat, got out of my tiredness, and then gone to the village. Or gone to the village and asked them that I'm tired, konchum, I will have something to eat, and then carry on. They would have easily made me some food, some good food had given me also. So I could have done all that, but my tiredness was really making me, like my mind also wasn't working. Or what had to happen maybe happened, but anyway, I could have not lost, and maybe won, but it doesn't matter. So Swami has said to me now that you take up a job, you do it diligently and do not give it up in the middle. And if you do give it up in the middle, this is what happens, is what I have learned from this lesson of Swami teaching me. So see, Swami is there for everything. It doesn't mean that just because I'm Geeta Reddy and I come to Puttaparthi very often, he'll get me to pass my exam or get my elections through. No, he taught me a very good lesson. Once we were invited to South Africa, I think 2017. We were invited to South Africa for me to come and speak. So we took it up very seriously, but I didn't know whether we should someone calls us from there and we go. There's a temple called Sai Sudha, and this is one organization that has built this beautiful temple of Baba. And of course, we got to know all this when we went there. So I put up a garland for Swami on that Thursday. It must have been a Thursday that we had a thick garland for Baba in our puja room. And after praying, I always pray for everything. Would you think I should go, Swami? Should I go? Should we go? They said they will foot my bill, but then Ram has to foot his own bill. So he said that should be okay, but provided Swami gives us a green signal to go. And what happens, as I'm just putting my head down and praying with my hands folded, the whole garland just went up and down he dropped the whole garland, which means he was very keen that we should go. So I called them up on phone and told them, this is the signal I got from Swami that we should go and we are coming. So that's how we went to Florence, to South Africa. And there's a lovely organization there and lovely people who took good care of us the 3 days that we were there. This floral thing also happened in another place that I went to. And there also, as I was speaking, the flowers kept falling. And recently, it happened in my Samarpan, when I went to address the Samarpan in Vrindavan, Whitefield. I was talking about Swami, maybe Swami is here, we never know, and all that. Suddenly, the Krishna statue, that beautiful Krishna statue, was adorned with a lot of flowers. Among them, one was a beautiful orange hibiscus. And my back was to it, but the audience could see it. And it suddenly dropped, and everyone went into thunderous claps to say, yes, Swami is here. He is showing his presence by dropping that orange flower from Krishna. I have a beautiful experience of that also, because in Samarpan they allowed me to go into Trai Bundavan and sit for more than half an hour and connect with Swami over there. So this is where he's connected. He's there everywhere. And that's what I said. He could be right here. And then he virtually showed himself to say that there is this. So this is a floral connection that one has. Any connection Swami can have with anybody. This is the connection. A lot of ways he has taught me. So I was talking about my thyroid. I am going back to 97 again in Kodaikanal. When we were coming back, Swami said, I'll give you an interview, come. So we three went, my daughter, Ram and me. So he said, he materialized vibhuti, and that vibhuti was just, in a casket, and it was coming out from the casket like, like a snowfall sort of a thing. And then a lot fell on his robe as well, and within seconds it was gone as well. I was about to, trying to dust it, but I didn't have to. It just disappeared. He gave it to me and he said, "Will you take it?" I said, "I will take it, Swami, whatever you give." So the first time I was getting vibhuti from the Lord himself in a silver casket, I started taking it very regularly, like he said. He said, "Take it for 3 months and then come back and see me." So we went and came. In the meantime, my thyroid became normal. He didn't tell me, "I'm giving it for your thyroid." I didn't go and tell him I have a thyroid problem. I said, we are going to see him and learn from him and get some spiritual feeling in us, and be better human beings, but not for my thyroid or some other problem or some other health problem. I never told him my health problems, but he would heal them by himself. So this was wonderful. 97 until today, my thyroids are normal, absolutely normal. Isn't this a divine doing of the Lord? You don't have to ask him because he knows everything. And if he thinks you deserve to be treated and healed, he will do it. And that's what has happened to me. There have such experiences of mine. If I carry on and on, becomes difficult. One day, I was in my bath, and suddenly we had the door was glass door, thick glass. All of a sudden, the glass started making sounds, and I didn't know why. What was happening to it? And then suddenly, blast, like someone blasted that stone. It was absolutely a blast, and the whole it was a big glass door. It was a huge glass door, and it fell to pieces. Luckily, I was wearing my shower cap, so my shower, the glass pieces didn't get into my head, but I was covered with glass pieces continuously throughout. And by the time I came out, eh, 3, 4, or nearly half a dozen nurses sat around me to take out those glass pieces. It could have touched me, hit me anywhere. There were some hits, small hits, where I have had plastic surgery. One on my toe, one on my thumb here. But they were small. They became so small, those microscopic pieces, you can call them. So many people had to just sit there and pick them out of my body. But he saved me. And I'm sitting here in front of you only because of him, because he's there with me all the time. Inta, venta, kanta, janta. He says this and he means it. And let us not take him just because he's physically not present. Believe in him that he is there for us all the time, around us, above us, below us, everywhere. Let's keep him in our hearts. And take his name. Namasmarana is the main thing that we have to do. In this Kali Yuga, Swami says it is easy, so easy. All you have to do is Namasmarana. And whenever I have Namasmarana, I am there for you all the time. So let's go on believing in the Lord. We are so fortunate. I think the ones in the Sai fold, the devotees of Sai Baba, Sathya Sai Baba, are the luckiest, because just by being in his presence, they have a Lord who is helpful, who is kind, considerate, compassionate, all through our lives. So I only pray, hold my hand and walk me through this life, Swami. You're there for me. You're everything. You are my mother, father, friend, and philosopher. Thank you so much. Jai Sai Ram, Jai Sai Ram, Jai Sai Ram.
Sathya Sai